Hello everyone, today in this video we are going to study the second chapter of class 6th of supplementary reader. The name of the chapter is The Friendly Mongoose. The story is taken from the Panchtantra. The Panchtantra is quite popular among children. It gives us different story with moral lesson. So in this chapter also, this story gives us a moral lesson. We have mainly three characters in this story: a farmer, his wife, and a mongoose. So mongoose was the pet animal of this farmer, but one day something happened, and due to which the farmer's wife grew angry. She was not able to control her anger, and due to which she killed the mongoose. So now let's see what happened, how the mongoose was killed. Once a farmer and his wife lived in a village with their small son. They loved him very much. "We must have a pet," the farmer said to his wife one day. "When our son grows up, he will need a companion. This pet will be our son's companion." His wife liked the idea. So in the first paragraph, the story starts, it opens in the farmer's house. So farmer said one day, what happened? The farmer told to his wife that right now our son is small, but when he will grow up, he will need someone to play with. He will need a friend with whom he can play, with whom he can roam here and there, with whom he can share everything. And for that he said, as we don't have second child, so we should have a pet animal, so that the baby will find one friend in that pet animal, and he will be able to play and enjoy the company of that pet animal. So the wife of the farmer liked that idea when she heard this. So one evening the farmer brought with him a tiny mongoose. "It's a baby mongoose," said his wife, "but soon will be fully grown. He will be friend to our son." So one evening when that farmer was returning back to his home from his work, so that day what he did, he brought a small mongoose. He bought a small mongoose. So when his wife saw that mongoose, he said that it's tiny mongoose, it's small in size. Then he said that no problem, right now it is a small in size, but in 5 to 6 months it will be fully grown, it will grow up. And this mongoose will be friend of our child, of our son, and both of them will enjoy the company of each other, both of them will play with each other. Both the baby and mongoose grew. In 5 or 6 months, the mongoose had grown to its full size, the lovely animal with 2 shining black eyes and a bushy tail. The farmer's son was still a baby in the cradle, sleeping and crying alternately. So what happened? After 5 to 6 months, that mongoose, it grew up completely, it became big in size, it was now grown up. But the child, the baby of the farmer, was still a child, sleeping and crying in the cradle. Now what is cradle? The cradle, this is cradle. Here in the picture you can see the child is sleeping here. This is cradle. And every childhood might have slept in it when you were a child. So after 5 or 6 months, what happened? The farmer's child was still in the cradle, was still a child, but the mongoose, it was now fully grown up. So let's see what happened then. One day the farmer's wife wanted to go to the market. She fed the baby and rocked him to sleep in his little cradle. Picking up the basket, she said to her husband, "I am off to bazaar. The baby is sleeping. Keep an eye on him. Frankly, I don't like to leave the child alone with mongoose." So what happened one day? The farmer's wife, she wants to go outside, she wants to go to the market. And the child was sleeping in the cradle. So while she was going out of the house, she told to her husband that "I am going to bazaar, I am going to market. for the time being, while I'm not at home, please take a look, take care of our baby who is sleeping in the cradle. And she says that keep a look, keep an eye, it means take care of him. And she says that I don't want to leave our child alone with Mongoose. Perhaps it may be that she don't have faith on that Mongoose, and therefore she says to her husband that I don't want to leave our child alone with Mongoose, so you stay here at home while I am going to market. You need not be afraid, said the farmer. The mongoose is a friendly animal. It's as sweet as our baby, and they are best of friends, you know. The wife went away, and the farmer, having nothing to do in the house, decided to go out and take a look at his fields not far away. He ran into some friends on the way back and did not return for quite some time. So what happened? When her wife told him that she don't want to leave her child alone with mongoose because she don't believe the animal, she don't believe that mongoose, then he said that don't think like that and don't be afraid, don't be fearful, don't think anything negative against this mongoose. He is quite good enough and he is as sweet as our baby. He is just like our baby only. So don't think anything negative against him. He is a good guy. He is a best friend of our baby. So don't think like this. He will not do any harm to our child. And then what happened? His wife went away to the market. So the farmer was sitting all alone in the house, and after some time he has nothing to do in the house, and therefore he was feeling bored, he was not feeling good, he was all alone at home, and therefore he thought that he should go to have a look, he should go and he should look out the field which was near to the house only, not far away. It means the field which was not far away from his house. So he thought that he should go there. So he went there to the field to look at the field which was near to his house. So what happened? While he was returning back to his home, at that time while returning back to his home, he met some of his friend. And he indulged in talking with his friend. So while returning back to his home, he found his friend, he started talking with that friend, and it took some time for him to return back to home because right now he is talking to his friend, he met someone who was his friend. The farmer's wife finished her shopping and came back home with a basket of groceries. She saw the mongoose sitting outside as if waiting for her. On seeing her, he ran to welcome her as a customary. The farmer's wife took one look at the mongoose and screamed, "Blood!" she cried. The face and the paws of the mongoose were smeared with blood. So what happened? Now the farmer was there talking with his friend. The wife of the farmer was there in the bazaar, and now the mongoose and the child was there at home. So after some time, when farmer's wife has finished her shopping, whatever things she has to buy, she bought all those things and she returned back to her home with basket full of groceries. It means the basket, the bag which she had carried was full of groceries. It means the things which is required in household daily use. So groceries, it means daily used material, things which we use daily in our home, different kitchen material, different household things, that is groceries. So what happened? When she returned home, she saw that the mongoose was waiting there at the gate of the house, and as soon as the mongoose saw her, he ran to her as a customary. It means he used to do it every day. Whenever the wife of the farmer or the farmer was out of the home, he used to stand and wait for the farmer or the wife to return back. So the mongoose was waiting for her there on the gate, and as soon as he saw her, he ran to her to welcome her as he used to do every day. So as soon as the mongoose went near to the farmer's wife, she saw that the blood was all around The face and paws of Mongoose were smeared with blood. It means she saw that there was blood all around his face, all around his body. Her body was full of blood all around. There were patches of blood on the mouth of the mongoose as well as on the body of the mongoose. You wicked animal, you have killed my baby. Smeared, it means it was all around. You wicked animal, you have killed my baby. She screamed hysterically. She was blind with rage, and with all her strength brought down the heavy basket full of groceries on blood smeared mongoose and ran inside the child's cradle. So as soon as she saw blood on the face of mongoose, she realized that the mongoose has killed her child. She realized that the child was killed by mongoose. And therefore she grew angry. She was not able to control her emotion. Out of emotion, what she did, blind with rage, it means she was not able to think anything because she was too much angry. She was not able to control herself. She was not able to control her emotion because she thought that her child was killed by mongoose, and therefore what she did, she threw the basket full of grocery which was in her hand on the mongoose whose body was smeared with blood, and she ran inside the house to see that whether her child was safe, alive or not. The baby was fast asleep, but on the floor lay a black snake, torn and bleeding. In a flash she realized what had happened. She ran out looking for mongoose. So what happened? As soon as she ran in the house, she went in the house to have a look of the baby. She saw that the baby was lying safely. The baby was sleeping safely. It was not harmed. There was no harm on the body of the baby, but there in the room on the floor a dead snake was lying there in the blood and the body was full of blood, and the snake was totally torn. It means the mongoose has killed that snake, and the snake was bleeding. And then as soon as she saw the snake lying there dead, she realized everything. She analyzed that what would have happened. So you can guess here that what would have happened. It means here the snake came to bite the baby sleeping there in that room, but mongoose, he had a fight with the snake, and mongoose has killed that snake. So in order to show his loyalness, in order to show his faithful behavior toward his master, he was waiting there on the gate so that they will praise him. But instead of getting praise and love from their master, we have seen that this lady, the wife of the farmer, out of anger, without thinking anything, what she had done, she had thrown basket full of grocery on his body. Now let's see whether he was saved or not. Oh, you saved my child, you killed the snake, what have I done? She cried, touching the mongoose who lay dead, and still unaware of her sobbing. The farmer's wife, who had acted hastily and rashly, stared long at the dead mongoose. Then she heard the baby crying. Wiping her tears, she went in to feed him. So as soon as she saw the snake lying there in the pool of blood, she realized that what would have happened in her house, and she ran outside to have a look of mongoose. So she went there and she found that the mongoose was lying there dead. Now she was weeping, she was crying because she had done something which was not good. The animal, the pet which has saved the life of her child, she has killed that animal only. Therefore, what lesson do we learn from this story? That we should never act hastily and rashly. It means we should never do anything out of emotion, in anger. We should think before we act. So the moral of the story is we should think before we act, we should look at all the positive and negative impact of the action which we are going to do, and then only we should act. So this woman, the farmer's wife, she had not taken a look of the matter first. Instead, she has taken the action first. And therefore, what happened? The pet animal, the very faithful animal who has saved the life of her baby, was killed. So this is all about this story. Thank you for watching.